How's life treating you?
Oh,
Dot
crappy.
dot dot.
I see you got a demo of your thing working again, though. That's pretty cool.
Man, that thing took me like that thing took me about maybe 16 business hours to get it to run.
16 business hours. Well, that's not too
And I
bad.
barely touched the code. It's like you leave it stagnant for like a month or two and it just stops working.
Yeah, I know how that
and
goes.
I, and I know that yeah, like there's like something changed on it because in theory it shouldn't just stop working. But there's just other factors, man. I still got Microsoft support tickets because my GitHub sign in or my GitHub authentication, there's a bug where it's preventing me from creating Azure Function apps that have, I don't know, Azure Functions inside of them.
Hmm.
Who would have known the relationship between GitHub authentication with Azure and my Azure Functions not showing up within a Azure Function app shell? So, and this has been open for a long time, dude. Like, uh,
If you want, I'll rewrite the entire thing as a monolith in like a weekend. Sound good? Not the web apps.
yeah, yeah. You should, yeah. I'm still looking for a co-founder.
I'll use Microsoft Orleans, and it will just be all in one. But we won't have the payment stuff figured out. That we might still use. No. What happened to
I,
your other guy, the front man?
dot dot dot. He I'm having Fiverr update my website in real time. Um, am I sharing my screen?
No.
He uh he gets 90% of the things that I need him to get done, but that's not enough.
Is
There's
the
no there's no there's no opting out of 10% or even 5% of what I believe is needed in order to get to the next stage of business development or to even conceive a business in the first place. So to summarize, I've been telling him probably for the past 4 to 5 months how we need to record transactions electronically and so that we can provide transparency to would-be investors in order to attract investors for funding. I told them I created the business checking account for Beach Mobile. We need to start depositing funds from transactions into that account. If we want to scale, this needs to be done, right? It's you can tell I'm getting frustrated. And he said, "Oh, Scott, I tried. You know, people, the type of market that we're dealing with, they're using like Venmo, whatever that is, Cash App, or they're paying with cash." And I'm like, "No, they're not. They're not hopping on American Airlines flight NWA, coming down to Miami and paying cash at the counter. They're not doing that. And that's your demographic that you choose to do business with. We need to start recording electronically. I've been saying this for the past 4 to 5 months, and we don't have one single transaction that has hit this Beach Mobile account. All right, I'll get it done. And that's all I hear, right? So then I decided to pull up on South Beach on 8th and Ocean, and I didn't see him, but I saw his setup. And so I just started interviewing customers that were in the pop-up tents, and I recorded the me interviewing the customers, and I was like, "Hey, were you offered a discount if you paid with Visa or Mastercard?" And they're like, No. Well, how did you pay? Oh, I paid cash, or I paid Cash App, right? Oh, so you weren't offered a discount because you would have got like $4 off, right? And like I did that. I interviewed probably a sample of like maybe four different customers out of maybe a dozen, and that was enough that like I just wiped my hands clean again. Um, I I blocked them. I blocked the email. I blocked his phone number. I blocked the three Instagram accounts that he has that he uses to message me on. And I just went dark and to focus on filling out this Y Combinator application because I didn't want to. I didn't want to deal with any distractions, any long conversations. Send him a message saying that there appears to be a conflict of interest between what you need to maintain your finances versus what Beach Mobile needs to attract investors. And then after I sent him that message, I just block, 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 block. And then I unblocked his phone number yesterday morning, and I thanked him for his contributions, and I just left it like that.
Hmm.
Feedback.
I don't know. I might have gone about it a different way, but I mean, I
Most
don't.
people
I'm not in
will.
your. Yeah, yeah. I could understand your frustration with it. I mean, you can record transactions that are cash or cash app or stuff. It would have to be manually. Um, and then money in the bank always tells the story. But um, yeah, I don't know. Um,
So here's the issue, Sean, and I don't know why this always comes up, but it does for a reason, and maybe I need therapy for it. What I'm trying to build, surprise, it's a black-owned business, and the reality of the situation is because it's a black-owned tech company or tech startup that I'm trying to build or conceive, it's going to come under scrutiny and review. So I want this to be as clean as possible. I want it to be like just clean, right? I don't want anything to look suspect. I don't want funds for the business to, I don't know, be diverted to other people's bank accounts. I want everything to be clean. The difference between the person that I've been dealing with and myself, I think, is this person hustles, right? And this person is used to dealing with a certain demographic, right? He's from Brooklyn and he lives in Miami. He's been down here probably for like I don't know 8 years, but his preferred demographic is like lower income ratchet people, okay? And like who cares? Money makes money, right? But it's becoming a challenge because it's constraining his thought process of how he makes money as a side hustle versus what my vision is as a 30 or $100,000 a day across all these different beaches. And how do you scale that? How do you attract? How do you growth hack? How do you like do all the logistics? How do you capture all this electronically? And like I'm thinking bigger and I'm thinking like the big picture, and I don't think he is. And I don't want to be like I don't know the low probability that I am making let's say $10,000 a month, and all of a sudden I catch an indictment. Like I don't want that. So I want things to be traceable, recordable. I would prefer not to deal with cash at all, right? I don't want to deal with cash if I'm trying to build something that scales and I'm trying to build something that makes $100,000 a month. So
yeah,
I know it's kind of scatterbrained, but like I don't think he understands the concept of tech startups. and IPOs. And I know it's extremely low probability, but that's that's what I'm reaching for is to be able to evolve. If I could, if if I can reasonably prove that 400 beachgoers or 400 million beachgoers a year in continental USA um, are underserved, and there's money to be made off of them. You know, I don't think he's thinking like that. He's just thinking about himself, and if he can't deliver on what I'm challenging him to do, Y Combinator is going to be a order of magnitude more challenging when they give us objectives.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have me calling up CEOs on the phone, probably stopping by their houses and trying to force a 1 hour interview with them. They're going to probably even in a low probability that I even get an interview, let alone get accepted into their program. They are going to have me do things that I am so emotionally uncomfortable with, and I don't have a choice because it's going to improve what I. It's only going to improve um, what I need to accomplish. I can't even find the words right now. Right. It's only going
Yeah.
to help me. So
Yeah. So imagine for a second he is right about beachgoers wanting to use cash
okay,
and Cash App. Because I'd actually assume he's right. Um, people, I don't know that people want to bring their wallets to the beach where the
they
cards are.
don't. They bring their
Yeah,
browser on their phone.
exactly. Yeah. And so,
No,
um,
that's my point. You
yeah,
order through the website and you already have your browser. You already have your payment method details, aka Visa or Mastercard. It's already cached on your phone.
um, maybe. I don't do that. I
Okay.
don't tend to do that myself. But I do bring my
All right.
wallet to the beach. Um, but let's just assume that for a second. Um, and how many of these like hustlers like him are there on the beach? Do you think that they've got full coverage already on the beach for all the major areas?
No,
So he's just kind of special unicorn out on one spot.
no. What he does is there's a section of the beach where there's independent like vendors
Uh huh.
illegally, and his hustle is well, he used to sell. I literally told him to rent it out, and that's what he's been doing for the past 2 years. But he'll rent out tents. They all go in the same area because when they're all collective in the same area, their customers have the most to benefit from. And so if their customer gets put in a tent, there's someone else that's in the same area that can supply them food or supply them alcoholic beverages,
Yeah.
right? So they all work with one another, but they're all independent. If that makes any sense,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're all like cool with each other, and they all participate in this ecosystem within this specific area of the
Yeah.
beach.
It's a market. Um,
Yeah,
and
exactly. Right.
so that's in one specific part of the beach, but the rest of the beach is not this way. Like,
The rest of the beach isn't as cohesive of like that ecosystem or that marketplace. No, there's there's people that are still walking or patrolling, soliciting for business, offering alcohol, but there's 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 not like 15, 20 yards of people posted up, customers there, and people that cover different accommodations of the beach, all within a 15 or 20-yard radius of one another,
hmm. Is
in which
there?
they refer each other
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
various customer needs.
And it's all illegal, or
Yeah.
okay. Hmm. So it wouldn't be above board anyways, even if you accepted cash transactions, um, because it's illegal on the strip there. So I was gonna say, if
No.
you had a bunch of these types of people, they said you might switch to be a
Well,
B2B type thing and
remember the
focus on
goal.
logistics.
Remember the goal is to be a delivery company. right?
Yeah. Well, it's logistics then.
So it's not a commerce on the beach because that would be illegal. It would be place your order and we'll drop it off.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm saying is maybe you think of yourself more as a B2B logistics company, and you deal with these people on the beach. You don't deal with the cash on their end at all. You deal with delivering them stuff that they can resell. Like you said that one time when the person wants ice. Well, I don't have ice. You're the
Yeah,
guy
but
who delivers the ice so
I,
that
under,
these people
I,
can, yeah,
I
like,
understand what you're saying, but there's more money in dealing with customers than dealing with beach vendors.
yeah, but they're taking a lot of the risk with the illegality of it all. You're not doing
No,
that.
they're taking a lot of the risk with maybe 15 to 20 yards of beach versus 30 miles.
Yeah, but somebody else is taking it, on another 15 yards, but if you have all the guys that are
They're
taking it
not. That's what I'm
30
saying.
yards, yeah, yeah, okay, so
The
there's
the only
just
people
not.
the only people who are quote unquote taking it and doing it legally are the Boucher brothers, and they're the ones that has a monopoly with Miami Beach and Fort Lauderdale, and that's
Hmm,
what I'm trying to take market share
disrupt.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So what's your what other avenue do you have to get in then to this? I mean, are you gonna have to start hustling on the beach, or like what's the
If
other way to get customers? Because you have to get like sales, right?
if I were to follow the guidance of Y Combinator and I do things that don't scale, then in theory I can set up my beach office, work from the beach on administrative tasks, whatever else that I've been doing, and within probably 30 yards on the left of my beach office, 30 yards on the right of my beach office on the beach, I could set up some canopies and some beach tents, and then I could casually solicit beachgoers. What I've learned is if you walk up to a beachgoer declaring your service, even if you have a business card, but the beach is barren and it has none of your accommodations there, the default answer is no.
Yeah,
Doesn't
because you
matter
need
if
to
you
go
hand
to
them a brochure. If they don't see a setup and you look like me, they're gonna say, "Oh no, I'm good, thank you." Right. However, what I've learned from the dude that I've was or been working with is if you can herd them and point to the accommodations, and even better, you point to those accommodations that has social proof of people actually using it, you'll probably get like 1 out of 8 people to get inside of it.
hmm
So to answer your question, if I were to follow the guidance of Y Combinator and do things that don't scale, I would follow that pattern of getting customers until I receive some mentoring or I have a revelation over time of a more scalable way of doing that. And like I said, I would probably just set up a beach office because it only makes sense for me to be productive while I'm there versus literally just sitting there waiting for people to arrive to the beach. And uh it would be testing out what it means to be productive at the beach in regards to working. So that's another bird I could kill with that stone. That's a short answer. I did test something yesterday.
Is that
I worked out on the beach. I literally brought a workout bench, a yoga mat,
oh
and
neat.
a ab roller, two two Boombox 3 JBLs, a chair. a lap desk. Yeah. So I did like 5 sets of 20 setups. I attempted to do my ab roller, but my son took over the yoga mat and doused it with sand.
Hmm.
But it works, and that workout bench, which I was doing decline sit-ups, that was approximately maybe 30 to 35 pounds. So it's doable. It just required me to drag 2 wagons.
Cool. So what's the actual illegality of the stuff on the beach? Is it soliciting? Is that the key? What the law is or the rules? Solicitation.
There's no commerce on the beach.
No commerce, so no exchange of money.
No exchange of money on the beach,
Okay.
which is why I'm a delivery
So
company.
yeah, so you can solicit, but you can't actually accept money.
In theory, you can't solicit either,
Okay, so solicitation and
which is
acceptance of money.
which is why I was going down the paid ads route of Instagram
Yeah.
because the demographic is probably 70% women, and they almost all go to the beach so that they can surf their social media. So that was my method of addressing that challenge. And I mean, I burned up like $50 or $60, and I didn't get one conversion at all.
Yeah, it's a lot of cost to what is it? There's a term for that cost of acquisition cost or whatever. Customer acquisition cost. That's a pretty high customer acquisition cost because you're probably gonna have to send hundreds of dollars, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I
Yeah.
mean, there's other factors, right? It could be that ad just isn't effective, and maybe I mean, I didn't do A/B testing, right? I didn't have two different ads and rely on the Google Ads infrastructure to measure the the clicks between the two different ads, let alone which one would get converted, if any. I didn't do that. I just chose one ad.
Did you know if you got? Did you get clicks at all? Do you know? Did Facebook report that? Because as soon as
I
you
didn't
put
even look
that
at
up,
the metrics because I didn't get a conversion. I did not get a notification saying a customer wants to rent this out. So I didn't even bother.
but then so the problem might not be the Instagram ad. The problem could be your website or expectations of getting also from there on out. Because you got to look at your funnel, right? So the top of your funnel are these Instagram ads. Then you've got the website, which is the next level in your funnel. But that's might be where they're dropping off, is in that section of the funnel. So you'd have to potentially fix that part of the funnel rather than the Instagram ads. $60 of Instagram might have gained you 6 conversions or 10 conversions or 20 conversions. You don't really know. It's whether or not but if your website's where they're dropping off, then I don't know how many ads they show for that much money, but um, it might drop off at your website where they go there, they click through, they're like, oh yeah, this is actually good, and then that like I would want that, and then they click in like, oh, I'm not gonna fill out a form, whatever, and that's where they fall off.
I agree. I agree, but that also is contrary to my understanding of product market fit, in which my understanding of product market fit is you found a good product or service if, regardless of how painful it is, customers are still willing to go through that pain because you address whatever issue that they're going through. Um, so I think there's a difference between, oh, I'm a customer, let me check this out. Oh, this is weird. Yeah, I'm straight. Versus a customer saying, oh, okay. Oh man, this isn't intuitive. Oh, but there's a support number. I really need this right now. Let me call. All right. You
Yeah, I mean,
disagree?
maybe. I mean, it's. I guess it depends on the way that people felt when they got it. Okay, let's assume that they clicked through, right? Let's just to say this is why the metrics, because you could know whether this is Was it the ad to begin with? Was it that it didn't communicate what they'd get? Because it could be that you could have product market fit, but they don't understand either how to do something, so they just get lost in the process. So even if they want it real bad, they're like, fuck it, I'm not gonna. This is unusable. How good is the service gonna be? Kind of a thing. Or they just like, they click through and they're like, I don't really want to fill out a form right now for this, or I don't believe this will be sent to me, or whatever. Um, might be just a social proof thing, and I think there are ways where that'll disrupt. Maybe they tried and the website just failed, and you just don't know because you know maybe I don't know, WordPress alerting isn't very good. um, there's a lot of things that could happen, which is why I think you'd have to look at the metrics and then potentially tweak it before you give up on the avenue. Um, but it would be good to know too. A good lesson to know would be: did that Instagram thing gain enough reach? Did people actually, did it actually have any clicks? If I tried it again and did some other things, maybe ran some more experiments, would I expect to get anything?
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, but Meta should have click through rates on Instagram ads, right? They probably have those metrics
Yeah.
somewhere. Their business, whatever.
Uh, Meanwhile, so it's on Google Business. Hold up. If I do Google Business, and then I don't know, is it this one? And then I say beach mobile. Yeah, this is another. Yeah, so here's why do I need to continue to manage your? Can I just say later? Is it going to take me there? Yeah. So here's Beach Mobile on Google Business, right? Unfortunately, this location isn't on the beach. It's on 8th and Ocean. And I don't know. The hardest thing is not having an actual address. And I don't want to put in my own personal address, but it's preventing me from a lot of things, such as pickup and delivery. This control right here, Google's they want to send you a postcard that has some type of confirmation code on it, so that you can confirm on the website that you received it and prove that you have the actual address. So that's something that I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure how Google Business would work with like online only presence company. I don't know if you could get
It's
a
the same
PO
thing with
box.
TripAdvisor. It's the same thing with everybody, man. They
Yeah,
all want that. They all believe that you're supposed to be a brick and mortar.
yeah,
I'm going to literally try to go into Microsoft Paint and address this. It, ever since you mentioned it, and I saw it the first time, but then like my mind forgot about it, and I started looking at other things. But now it's obvious every single time I look at it now. So
yeah.
so here's the TripAdvisor one.
Shoot me, and I'll fix it for you in 10 seconds. No,
Uh, I was looking for a black guy, but I took a Samoan instead. It works. And
they always have full
I,
plates of shrimp with them.
I, I don't like this picture right here. I might delete this one. Who has shrimp?
Oh, in your pictures, they always have a full tray of shrimp. Oh, he's shrimp.
I had it last night.
Yeah. Just pick up a tray of shrimp, go and drop it off. Hey, take a picture
Mm-mm.
with my shrimp, and then you eat them.
I don't like this picture right here, dude. I gotta take this one off.
Yeah, it's a little
So
sideways.
how do I get rid of this? Can I?
I
Do
think
I
that
really
deletes
have
the
to
whole
delete the whole
photo.
thing?
I don't know if you can take down just one. I guess I don't know. I mean, it's not terrible. It isn't the greatest picture, but it's not. It is the fourth on the carousel, so
I'll work on it later. So that's TripAdvisor. What's the other one? Uh, Groupon. Let's go to Groupon. I haven't got a hit with Groupon yet. Take your time, Groupon. They probably use SQL Server.
SQL Server can be really fast.
My
Anything
bad.
can be fast, man. It's just a
Something
matter
went
of
wrong. Please try again later.
yeah,
How long has Groupon been around? For a while, right?
while yeah.
Yeah. So why am I seeing
Aren't
this?
they owned by someone? I can't. I thought Groupon sold to Google or something like that.
What should, like I've observed several bugs with Groupon. Yeah. So here's the Groupon campaign. I mean, it looks okay to me, except for this one. Looks kind of weird, and this one too. But
You know, this is just their own company. I thought they got bought by someone.
so that's the Groupon presence. What's this notification over here? I don't know what that is. All right, so we talked about the sales funnels.
Yeah.
I wrote some
Another,
code this morning for a
another,
customer. Thank you.
yeah. Another question for you is, where do people go before they go to the beach? And is that a place where you could tap into actually handing people or soliciting them for future business?
Before they go to the, that's a good thought. Before they, let me show you my customer thank you message. Photo review, rewards, voucher is part of their rewards, whatever. To answer your question, there's a if the customers either go to their hotels or the customers either leave their hotels to go to the beach, they leave their Airbnbs to go to the beach, or they leave their cars, the parking spot to go to the beach. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the Airbnbs are more accessible than hotels for
Yeah.
building
Because
relationships.
each individual property owner would be able to make their own decision about what they want to do. Property manager. And so then, because I think you've talked about going on that avenue before, right? Where you
Yep.
could you get into pamphlets into Airbnbs? What would that cost to do? You know, to be like, hey, if you have something
No,
where what?
no pamphlet. I would literally create a package and have it listed on the owner's Airbnb, and the owner would be incentivized to have it there because they would make money off of it too.
Yeah, well, let's say they're not willing to go that far. Um, but that's a good one. Maybe try that route. Try that route. But also, like, you could get even just like when you arrive in an Airbnb, there's usually a big ass kitchen counter somewheres, right? Potentially, it could be a kitchen counter.
Oh, okay.
One of the little pop up type things with like, "Are you going to the beach?" You know, with a way to say if you need anything when you get there, if you forget anything, have like your QR code. I don't know what them little pop up tent thingies are called that go on the
Well, it would.
like you see them at restaurants and stuff. You know.
So at the Airbnb on the kitchen counter or the cocktail table, you would have what you said, a flyer for Beach Mobile on the beach. and the promo code would map to that Airbnb owner.
Hmm.
And on the flyer, it would be like get $4 off or whatever arbitrary number off um, using this promo code, and that's how I would measure the effectiveness of Airbnbs.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily do a promo code thing. I would say like get your first one, because then somebody could just go to, if they come back and go to Airbnbs, they could just get promo codes all the time. But if it's the first time they were to use this service or get an account, then you could drop $4 off, right?
Okay.
Because you'd identify them using their, they'll have an identity, right?
Yeah.
Like DoorDash does this, get $4 off your first delivery, whatever. But that might be an avenue to just go back and look at the DoorDash or the not DoorDash, the uh, the Airbnb market again, and try to hit that as an in. I don't know what it take to get in contact with Airbnb owners and um, see if
Oh,
they'll be
yeah,
willing to
well,
do it.
it's interesting that you mentioned that. So I went to a networking event. What's today? Today's Friday. I went to a networking event, I think like Tuesday or something.
Hmm.
And I learned that the government requires Airbnb owners to register their Airbnbs um, so that it's public information and it's government data. So, in theory, I can go to a website and get a listing of Airbnbs within Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and then I can take it from there.
Yeah, there you
Yep, never knew. And knowing is half the battle. Hold up, take two. And knowing is half the battle.
go. Knowing
You
half
know
the
that
bottle.
quote. Yeah,
I
GI
like I
Joe.
like knowing it is half the bottle instead. It's
And
pretty good.
knowing
Like,
is now you know, and knowing is half the battle. GI Joe. I don't know how to say GI
yeah.
Joe. I wasn't allowed to watch GI Joe. It was too violent. I wasn't allowed to watch Smurfs. I grew up in a cult, man. Smurfs. It was about magic. They didn't. I wasn't allowed to watch it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I need to? Y Combinator. I have a meeting today at 2:30 p.m. East Coast to meet with a potential co-founder. He lives in St. Petersburg, Florida. I joined Y Combinator's co-founder matchmaking program, and yeah, I reached out to him. He said it looks like I was doing interesting things, so we're scheduled to talk at 2:30 today. The
Cool.
application to Y Combinator is done. Now I got to do my taxes and go homeless after I write them a check. All right, the IRS that is.
Oh, head back into gainful employment. Yuck.
Yeah, I haven't worked in. I think it's been over 3 months now.
I should do that. Take 3 months off. Just work on something.
I got more done in 3 months than I have probably in like a year. Tamper. I got some tamper-proof packaging. So I think I told you the business model is adopt the strategy of hotel rooms where they have the fridge and anything that you take out the fridge you get billed for.
Hmm.
I told you that. So like you put a care package in a
No.
tent or a canopy, and whatever they consume out of it, it just gets added on to their their bill, their Visa or Mastercard bill. Hint, hint. That's why. That's also why it's important to me. Uh, and yeah, so it's kind of like using Satan's strategy with Adam and Eve, and you tempt them, right? You use temptation, and if it's already there, then it's a little bit harder for them to say no, thank you, because now it's within the arm's reach and it's hella convenient. Especially if there's peer pressure, there's family, there's girlfriend, etc. Um, and then I was also going to say, hey, well, if this is going to work for refreshments, in theory, I really do believe it will work. Then maybe it'll also work for other things that I could add to the care package, such as phone chargers, in which I would throw the phone chargers in packaging that's tamper proof. And when they break the seal, then they get billed for it, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, I already told you about Beach Mobile Fitness delivering fitness equipment to the beach, which was honestly an amazing experience. Me bumping Rick Ross, doing my sit-ups for like 20 minutes with my picnic setup. Like, yeah, I felt like a celebrity, and that's all I have to share, Sean. These status updates are becoming more about the business than debates about celebrities and stuff.
Yeah, well, I suppose I should be asking you about this stuff because that's the original purpose of this, right? Was
It
to give you
was.
some to bounce stuff off. Yeah, not my stupid weekly status of you know I hate my job, I hate my everything, I hate everything. I didn't do any
or
workbench.
or
Right.
sticky
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 joysticks.
yeah,
Yeah,
sticky computer keyboards from the late 1980s.
yeah, yeah. That's basically my status again. Like fucking work is just a roller coaster. I I got to get off of it. It's like I don't know. I'm thinking about actually like because I like doing work where I know somebody's going to be using the thing. Like I hate like there's necessary work where it's like this just needs to get done. And okay, all right, I'll do like some like that's fine. It's like that's the work part. But what I like to do is deliver features where improve people's lives in some way. Fucking like every other sprint, it's like, well, we're like there's none of that. It's like none of it and it just freaking drains me. And
Did
I'm
you
thinking
see?
about. Oh, go ahead.
I'm listening.
I was gonna say. Well, I'll just say the last thing is I'm thinking about actually being like, I'm not gonna do anything this sprint unless I'm gonna do at least one thing that has some impact, like some sort of like feature that is gonna affect sellers. Just be like, I'm just put my foot in the sand. And be like, no, I'm not gonna do any other work unless I've got at least one ticket where I will deliver something to the customer that they would find. I don't care if it's like rearranging the page better, making uh, fixing a long-standing like interaction bug, or like I don't know, improving layout or a sort capability or something that's actually like people would go, oh yeah,
Value.
yeah, like that helps me just a little bit. Might shave 10 seconds off my day, which is 120 minutes a year or something, or
How often
whatever.
do you guys release?
Well, some things we can release every, within a day or whatever. But we have one more legacy monolithic thing that gets released on a 2 week cadence. So, but that's just their process for now. It's basically once the sprint ends, we release what was in the sprint, and then we go to the next sprint for that thing, which is the majority of where our code is in my team. So,
I don't know. I think what I'm attracted to now, and I'm not sure if I should double down on it.
women. Just kidding.
I already doubled down on that. I came out and
Yeah.
recommended it. Um,
No, sorry to interrupt you.
I'm really interested in the growth hacking space. It's not really well known. It's not mainstream, I don't think. But it's a very interesting kind of like game theory-ish problem to go into. Right now, everybody's distracted with Chat GPT or whatever. What's it called? Something AI, generative AI or generative AI.
Yeah.
So while they're distracted, man, I'm thinking about secretly just going balls deep into like growth hacking and be the technical authority in Surfside, Florida, right, on growth
Growth
hacking.
hacking.
Yeah.
So, how do you define growth hacking? I've heard the term, but I've never just actually gone and looked it up.
Uh, so I'm not the one to give the authoritative definition, but I would say that you blur the lines of marketing and product. It's blurred, right? It's kind of both. So it's when you build marketing into the product and you accelerate discovery of or you accelerate adoption of that product through the product, or through some type of ecosystem that isn't necessarily natural. So, for example, my attempt at growth hacking with Beach Mobile is sending a after a scheduled pickup and a customer is on their way to the rest of their day after post beach, send them a thank you for your business text message, and then there's a voucher for their next for them to redeem when they go to the beach again, right? Another one is they have a photo that we captured with their accommodation, and it's an Instagram post. They click on it, and then I'm willing to bet that they're not by themselves in that photo. They're with family, friends, whatever. And so they're going to tag themselves. They're going to tag maybe their friends. And then maybe they have friends still on the flight that's coming in for a bachelorette party or a birthday party or something.
Hmm.
Their friends or their social network that are also in Miami or will be in Miami soon for whatever event that they're attending, they're now going to get notice that there's a service called Beach Mobile for rentals, recreation, and whatever. And now, and they get a voucher dollars off because their friend offered it to them. I let that part out, but basically, take a photo of them, share that photo with them as a thank you for doing business, provide them an opportunity to tag themselves, and then their social network sees it, and then it increases the low probability that they'll use the service because it has social proof that their friend or their family member just used it prior, and they get a discount because of their friend, right? So and so has offered you whatever. Anyway, all of this is my attempt at growth hacking, or at least my version one.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just read the Wikipedia top
What did Wikipedia
part.
say?
Just essentially, it's subfield of marketing focused on rapid growth, referred to as both a process of blah blah blah. Goal is to regularly conduct experiments, including A/B testing. I can include A/B testing that'll improve the customer journey, replicate scale and ideas that work, and modify or abandon ones that don't. Before investing a lot of resources, it started a relationship with sister. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something that I'm kind of interested in is like how do you get better at understanding the human mind and what it values as it relates to how you can profit from it, and how do you take advantage of that network effect.
Yeah. Psychology, man.
There's
It's
probably
all
going to
psychology.
be there's probably going to be a university level course on it probably in another 10 years.
There probably already is.
I doubt it. University.
Oh, yeah. Well, California universities, maybe.
You
Growth
know,
hacking degree. Let me see.
do you guys have conversations like this with products where you work, or are you guys pretty insulated from it?
Not 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 about growth hacking or marketing type things. Usually, although I try to sometimes interject things, ideas like we're going to be releasing a feature, and there's concern among our experienced people that like, oh, it might be too like raw for, and then people might like try to use it, and then they're like, oh, this sucks, I don't trust it, and then they'll like never come back to it again. I'm
Yeah, that's
like,
me.
I'm like, well, anchor it to something that is useful in other contexts, and and then make it very clear that this is a first iteration for this. So even if they're not even if they hit it and don't trust it for this the first time, but they trust it for this in other contexts, they might come back to it then, or they will come back to it again. Especially if we have constant, very loud announcements about how we've improved it. And plus, it gets them into the act of doing, because we have certain data that we show, and they have to go to another page, and it's our data, our first data. Well, we're getting data from our parent company now, and that's going to be displayed, and but we don't show on the same page our data. It's like, well, what the hell? Like, this is useful. We know people do this. Just put that in there too at the same time. Make that the feature. Make this an experimental feature. Make it very clear that that's what it is, if we're concerned about it. But anchor them to this other thing that we know they use already. It's I don't know. I would just I like doing stuff like that, giving ideas and thinking about how to actually, yeah, thinking about how to hack things like that, problems, or work around problems like that. That's freaking fun. Um, People don't get what I ever talk about though. I don't know if I just don't communicate it well, or they're just like, oh, okay. It's like,
Yeah, they shoo you away.
you don't see my vision.
Do you
No,
did you see the meeting with Odie and I on meetings?
I skimmed some of it. I didn't watch
Okay.
all of it. I feel like we've had these conversations before, so
Oh,
I
okay.
kind of knew what you were gonna say. I looked at the, what do they call the subtitle thingies or whatever. When you scan the video, it'll show you what the sections are about.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I ran through some of that, and I was like, okay, I've heard Scott talk about that, or talk about that, talk about that. Okay. Yeah, because I was looking for a gotcha about but I think Odie are express it, a lot of developers are so against meetings. I'm like, that's the only place I gain enough context to actually do my job effectively is meetings. And I want more meetings, because more meetings help me actually do the part of gaining, because software development is a knowledge acquisition uh, trade. It's what it is. We acquire knowledge and we codify it. Um, and like to me, I gain those through meetings. Other people want that to be pre-codified and put it into tickets. And then if that in that ticket, if that doesn't represent what the actual knowledge that you're supposed to acquire is, or if the knowledge is bad, you don't even question it. And it pisses me off. So it's like, no, I gotta be in meetings. I gotta understand why I'm doing something and understand how or what our plan is around it. Like, man, I'm working this thing I'm working on right now. I'm like, it's like, hey, we'll just do this across the board. I'm like, well, not saying we shouldn't do that, but why don't we follow this very explicit plan where we don't have to do all of that necessarily, and we do it more targeted, and explain to me why this is not better. And fucking nobody does it. I don't know. Man, I don't know. I'm just
Yeah, I
frustrated.
understand what you're saying, and not going into too deep into it. But my argument was
Yeah. Sorry.
have something very focused, have a focused objective that's an action item that is oblivious about the big picture and get it working, demo it, and then the meeting is the demo and the course of action after the demo that provides more context and streamlines the bigger picture. That's kind of what I was attempting to articulate versus having a meeting that doesn't really have a input. I would rather have an input that could be observed and then have action items as a result of it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been to a meeting that doesn't have some objective like defined. Even if it's implicit, it's usually an objective
I've
on
had
it.
meetings.
One on ones maybe, but that's
No,
even that. Those have
no,
objectives.
no, 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 no. You have had meetings. Go into a meeting with a whole bunch of architects and attempt to say this meeting is to have a retrospective on how we can improve as architects and what are recurring patterns that we experience that need to be tweaked, right? So that they stop happening.
Yeah.
And watch the agenda change to some design problem about a product and not about how we can improve. So make long
Yeah.
story
So it
short,
has an objective, right?
yeah, it gets hijacked.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily that the meetings are a problem. It's hijacking is what you getting off topic is what your problem with meetings are, right? I've had that
Yeah,
happen too.
this is
Hijack like
turning to the discussion Odie and I had,
yeah,
in which we just had very different views.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Which reminds me, I'm Wusa. Uh I can't remember his name. I want to say his first name is Terry, but I know I'm wrong. He was a popular Microsoft speaker. He lives out in the Seattle area. I had him on my YouTube channel once. He kind of went quiet. He went dark. I his I want to say his first name is Terry. I'm trying. He's a really good speaker, but I can't remember. I can't really associate him to anything. But he's been in the Microsoft like arena probably for like the past 25 to 30 years.
he was on your podcast or on your YouTube channel once.
Yeah, a long, long, long time ago.
Let's
But
go
he
back
doesn't
in
have any
history.
books that I'm aware of. But he always talks about, is it hubris? What's the word? How you enunciate it? Hubris?
Hubris.
He gives talks on hubris. Oh man, I want to have him on Tech Conception. I think he's one of the only people that may actually show up. I think most other people don't like me. Uh,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
trying to think of who that would be. Um,
hubris. Is it hubris?
Hubris. Yeah, yeah.
I have a feeling his name is not Terry. I don't know what his name is, um, but he's a conference speaker.
Um, someone who went dark. His name was. eh,
Yeah, we're not going to figure out who he is.
Like, why does it like your channel only has like? It seems like it only's got like a dozen videos on it.
Because I just deleted a whole bunch of them to free up. Hold up, not on
uh,
StreamYard. You talking about YouTube?
YouTube. Yeah.
Uh oh. You got to go to live or live stream maybe.
Oh, maybe that's where it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's all the videos because the rest were all recordings.
Yeah, I can't. Ted Newart. That's his name.
Yeah, I actually wondered if that was who you're talking about. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him and see if I can get him on Tech Conception. I've been asking Odie to get either Scott Blashin or Mark Seaman, but it doesn't look like he's doing it. So I'm gonna try to make something happen.
Yeah.
Again, I was successful in getting Jamie Edwards on, and that doubled our subscribers in 24 hours. I think we're up to 71 subscribers now, and I have a manifesto thanks to Jamie that I'm trying to follow for the YouTube algorithm. Which man, I spent like 3 hours on it yesterday between Beach Mobile and Tech Conception YouTube channels.
Yeah. Yeah. Ted Neward. I was a big fan of his speaking, not necessarily of his politics, but you know who I liked listening to you talk to was Terrence. Just looking
Oh,
through, scanning.
Black dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wonder how he's doing.
I think one time, I may no, I don't know if it was your video or if it was a podcast he was on, but maybe it was on with Dave Rail at the time. But he talked about how like this experience about when he was working somewhere and they're like needing a help icon, and somebody thought about putting a police icon, and um, And then how like people like,
The black experience.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I get that. I get that. But because I definitely care about like user experiences. So I think about that now occasionally. I actually thought about that the other day because there's somebody had a new URL um, at our place, and it was dash cops, and I'm like I wonder how like people would feel about that if they've got a negative attitude towards the police, like a dash cops as a UR like a URL. Like, is that a tiny like? And I don't care about this stuff too much, but I'm interested in it. But like, is that a microaggression for people? Maybe I'm like, hmm. Plus, I hated it, so I wanted to find a way to get rid of it because it bucks our normal trend of doing things with a dash environment. So it's I was like, I wonder if that would be like triggering to some people. Maybe.
I'm assuming you've never been locked up.
No, no.
Okay.
That's because I followed the rules. Not really. Sometimes I could have been locked up before. I'm sure
Yeah.
having too much to drink, maybe once or twice when I was younger. I could drive, sure.
That's a
Uh,
victimless crime.
nope. It could very easily be a victim crime.
Well, if you drive.
If you drive and you hit someone, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying just public intoxication.
Oh, yeah. That's a victimless crime. That's stupid. I don't understand because it discourages you from walking home or not, like, you know what I mean?
Well,
That and
no,
like
I
parking tickets
understand.
and
I
stuff.
think it's a good law because not
I
everybody
think
can
it
hold
should
their
be a
liquor.
good. I think it should be a good law from while the sun is up.
Okay, what's the logic in that?
Because if you're out like drinking or whatever, and you're at like a bar and you close out a bar and you're drunk, I'd rather have that person walk home than drive home, right? So if the
Okay,
sun's up, that's the logic. That's what I'm saying. It's like there should
okay.
be like like core bar hours. I think for people getting that would probably be like 10 to 2, right? So if you said from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., it's okay to be publicly intoxicated as long as you're not making a hustle or whatever, and you have a destination in mind. Okay, if you get stopped and they say, "If I'm walking home," you go, "Okay, proceed." That should be allowed.
I mean, technically, you're not going to catch a public
Yeah,
intoxication
if you're just walking
if
home.
you're just walking, right?
Although it's a good way to say like to pull someone over, and if you don't like the look of them and they're walking somewheres that you don't like, to say, "Well, you're intoxicated, and I can get you for public intoxication."
It's when
Right?
you pull it out and you start pissing on buildings
Yeah.
and start screaming at people that you
Well,
get
that should
yoked
be
up.
like verbal assault and public urination. That's already covered.
Yeah.
So, but
We about
anyways,
to.
yeah,
I don't know how we went from Ted Neward to peeing on buildings. One
yeah.
of
I
the
actually got
dumbest
in
things.
a
Yeah.
yeah, I got in a not a Twitter battle, but I got in a little a bit of a tiff with him on Twitter once, and because I said something like it was during the COVID, and I was mad because the news was like, oh, Trump like chided this reporter, and I'm like, and I was mad. I'm like, why are they covering this? It's so stupid. I'm like, because I watched the entire thing, and I'm like, there was these other big
You talking
things.
about the reporter with the disability that had like I don't know
No,
his
no, this
arms
was
or
just
something?
like
And Trump was
in
like,
like a thing where he called one of these reporters nasty because he was asking a very nasty line of question. They were gotcha type questions. They didn't actually have any like, how are you going to reassure it when blah 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 like, and I'm just like, but you missed like they're not reporting on any of the other actually really interesting things. And I remember it was that he would have demanded no stock buybacks on or something like that on if they were to give any sort of stimulus money or whatever. Like he said he would demand it, which was something that clearly he had to think about for a second in the thing, and it was actually better than in some other places where they've done bailouts. Um, and like all, and then there was a bunch of other content, and like none of the news was about any of those kind of like important things. It was all like, oh, he called this he he chided this guy for being, well, he was being a dick in it. He was like trying to do a gotcha, and he was implying something by his questioning. He wasn't actually questioning about anything important. And I was just like, this is frustrating. And I said, this guy's stupid. And then I got, you know, Twitter tech community is
Reprimanded.
blindly anti-Trump, so it's rah, 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 rah. And then in the end, it was like, he's Ted's like, just block me. Then I'm like, I didn't start asking you to come talk to me, and I think like I like listening to you. I'm like, I'm not gonna block you. This is a discussion, and I'm like, and I think in the end, he's like, I'm like, I just didn't like how they focus on this stupid stuff when there's actually more important things. And he's like, oh, I agree with that. And it's like, okay, it's like,
I blocked a
okay,
couple people on Twitter.
yeah.
I blocked Scott Hanselman and I blocked some Russian F sharp prodigy. He wrote Ionide for Visual Studio Code. It's a F sharp IDE.
Mm. But I think Twitter has been a heck of a lot more, has actually been a lot better since Elon took over. Like it's been night and day. Like I actually
What?
get
Because people left.
a lot of people who are just like political rabble rousers. I think all went to Mastodon. Like they took their echo chamber somewhere else. And now I get just like, I get what I used to get, which is like, oh, I get tech news.
I'm
I
still
get
shadow
like,
banned.
yeah, you're not shadow banned. I
I
see it.
am. Look how many impressions my tweets get.
Hey, get a blue check mark and
I
see
get
how.
32 impressions
Here's a growth
for
hack
like
for you.
72 hours.
Here's a growth hack for you. Pay the $8, get a check mark, and see how your impressions go up.
Do you pay $8 for a check mark?
No,
How many
I'm just
how many
saying you should
impressions
just
do you
make
have
sure.
when you tweet something?
I don't care about impressions, but you apparently do. So here, I'll split it. I'll send you four
Because
dollars.
when I'm
And
sharing demos and I'm sharing commercials that I paid money for and I have like 12 impressions in the span of 48 hours, I'm like dude. When I say I'm shadow banned on Twitter.
yes, that's what I'm saying is you're supposed to get more reach if you have the blue check mark. And I'm curious if it's
I'm
true.
supposed to get more reach if I got like freaking how many followers I have. I'm probably close to like 1,400,
How many
but
people are you following?
I don't probably less than 100.
Okay. Yeah, so you should actually have like they open source the Twitter search algorithm. Go look at it. Find out why.
I know why.
The recommendation algorithm.
I say things that are borderline offensive to a whole bunch of different ethnicities and groups of people.
No, no.
It's involuntary. Sometimes I think I have Tourette's. It's like I just say things.
Now
I
you
have
just
1,308 followers. So how is it possible that when I tweet something, I have like real talk? My demo that I posted on April 5th. Today is April 7th. 50 impressions.
I bet it was because 1,000 of those are people who are tech people who left Twitter and went to Mastodon during the great Elon purge. I'm just kidding, man.
You, you don't you sincerely don't believe I was shadow banned.
Mm, no, I think everything has just changed on it. It might be the content that you're putting out there too is different. Like back when you were like interviewing people that weren't me, important people, like they had reach that captured. And then back when you were doing like blog posts, more blog posts of technical things that were useful to people, but no one cares about your beach mobile video. That's unless they're like
No, they don't have to
friends with
care
you.
about it, but an impression.
Yeah, buy a
Care.
blue check mark, promote it, see how many impressions you get.
Okay.
I'm just curious. It's more of a growth hack question for you. It's like, is that actually useful? Could you get impressions that way? Is it actually important? Maybe, maybe not.
Okay. And whatever for whatever reason, when I'm looking at year 2022, it doesn't have any impressions on there.
Oh, you're looking at like your Twitter.
Yeah,
What
it's
did you
like
do? Like a
they don't show
profile?
the impression count for 2022. What if I just click on it?
Where's that in like your Pro Tools or like
Yeah,
Creative
so like
Studio
this one,
Analytics?
539 impressions. Now I just jumped to 540, maybe because I just clicked on it.
I haven't
Uh,
tweeted this month. Dang.
21.
Tweets with photos get noticed more, man. That's you got to include a photo in every tweet. Oh, here we go. Top tweets. Oh, impressions.
uh, I probably got shadow banned when I commented on I forgot her name. She wrote the book Accelerator, and she was complaining about how guys shouldn't be scared to have one-on-one meetings behind closed doors with women, and that they need to grow up if they fear being yeah they and that they need to grow up. That's what she said. And I replied, well, what if they fear being falsely accused? And then I got hated on. That doesn't happen. Okay. Well, it's happened to me. It's happened to Kobe. It's happened to Bill Cosby. It's happened to R. Kelly. It's happened. No, almost everybody's been convicted except for Kobe Bryant. So,
Yeah, well, it's a concern. I mean,
well, okay. I mean, let me correct myself. I've never been accused of sexual misconduct. I'll say that.
yeah, I mean, it would only take one. I mean, obviously, if it never happens, then yeah, but it would only take one. And yes, it has happened. Like
Yeah.
people get falsely accused. Maybe not in closed one-on-one conversations with managers at tech companies. There's some,
Well,
bad people out there. I mean, it's just what it is.
or there's people that have influence that upset other people that don't
Yeah,
have influence. And so they take advantage of groups that have influence and they use them as instruments
yeah. It's
to bring
probably just
down
very
people of
rare,
influence.
but what they mean is it's very rare, and I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid of it.
It's not it's not very rare, dude. If you look up government data for domestic violence, what percentage actually has like proof of domestic violence versus accusations? And
I think
it's
we're
hard
talking
to
about
tell.
one-on-ones within like a
Yeah.
tech
Yeah.
organization though, or like a business.
You get into an argument with your wife or your girlfriend, and you say some things that are really really mean, and then she decides that, well, since she can't beat you up or strong arm you, she'll just call the cops and say that you did something, and it doesn't require any bruising, any scratches, nothing,
Yeah,
but you're
yeah,
forced to go through the court process
yeah,
and pay a lawyer to prove something that you did not do. And then once it's proven that you didn't do it, there's no consequences on the other side for the false accusation. There's nothing.
yeah. Well, you can counter sue in civil court, but
How do you counter to someone that has nothing?
yeah, I suppose. Well, they can get wages garnets as soon as they have something. That's how they deal with it, I guess. But
And how much is that going to cost for a lawyer to do that?
well,
But
no, your recruitment costs. Yeah,
I'm trying to express a point.
yeah.
Like,
This was the
people don't
that
want to go through that.
yeah,
So the easiest way is to protect yourself against it.
yeah. That was Pence. Like Mike Pence had that rule. He wouldn't have meetings in closed meetings ever with 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 women without somebody else present ever.
Wow. So it sounds like he probably went through something,
No, he's just
or that's just a
very
policy
cautious.
that, yeah.
Yeah, which is fine because you literally, as long as there's always a trio, unless you have two people in cahoots with each other, you know, you can't, like, you've always got someone to arbitrate or to
I've never heard that before. And how do you know that? Why, how
because
does one,
everyone complains about this and like says he's, oh, whatever.
I'm looking it up right now.
They talk about it in the news. Yeah, it's Harris says it's outrageous. Pence limits one-on-one meetings with women. Yeah, he's never alone with a woman other than his wife. But I mean, he's a political target too. Like
Yep.
people would have reason to try to, and just because they think it doesn't happen, I mean, that there is potential there. And so I don't know. I let the person be cautious if they want to be cautious. Whatever. Maybe there's, what the other thing is it can be, I don't know why it wouldn't be kind of psychologically safe for the other person too in the meeting. Like, hey, we're not having one-on-ones this way because we don't want to have, anyone feel uncomfortable. So I don't know. I think it's fine. But
Would it be
in a tech
different?
company, I wouldn't be scared of it. I mean, I'd assume that.
So hold up. Would it be different if someone in power said, "I don't want to have one-on-ones with black people. I need the third party always to be present."
With black people,
Yeah, would your views change?
would they change? Well, what's the dynamic there though? I guess if you're like, I mean, anybody could be.
If you could be accused of misconduct, sexual misconduct, or yeah, yeah, and that's it's kind of difficult to refute, right? Even what's his name? The black physicist. Uh, what's his name? How many black
Neil
physicists? How
deGrasse
many?
Tyson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm like, how many black physicists do you know? Even he caught a case, right? Or he caught an accusation, right?
Yeah, but that's like of the sexual nature. So it's like, what would it be with? I guess it would be like
Discriminate. Well, yeah,
we're
you're
in a
right.
we're in a meeting and like what did I drop the N word or something and like
No,
now
no,
I'm
no.
you know
You're right. It wasn't fully thought out by me.
yeah,
If anything, it would be discrimination and not like one-on-one misconduct.
yeah. Although it's just breath. But if you ever watched the movie American Beauty before?
I probably have, but I can't even remember what that movie was.
It- As a kid, I watched it and I was like, "What the hell is this?" But now it's like, as an adult, I like it's one of the most funniest movies I've ever seen. But in it, Kevin Spacey's character goes in and he's getting fired from his marketing job or whatever his job, and he blackmails the guy saying how he's like how um, can you prove that you didn't offer to blow me to save my job or for me to save my job if I blowed you this guy who's firing him and and so he walks out with like a year's worth of pay and like health benefits and stuff in a box or whatever. So they still let him
No,
go.
I
But
didn't see that movie.
yeah, yeah. And then he goes through the like essentially like a fast food drive through like line, and it's like, what? I want an application after he gets to the window. So he goes and works at a burger flipping place. It's about this guy who has a complete midlife crisis type thing. Um, and he gets infatuated with one of his daughter's friends or whatever, and that's the like source of his like whatever. But the whole movie, ends with the opportunity, but the realization that it was never chasing that to begin with. It was more the like youth. I don't know. It's funny.
I'm gonna watch it probably today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird too. So but yeah, and there's some stupid stuff in it, but it's a to me it's a funny movie because it's like um I don't know. There's one line. It's like he's interviewing for the fast food place, and they're like, "I think you're overqualified," but he's like, "I have fast food experience." He's like, "Yeah, that was like 30 years ago," and he's like, well, I'd have to assume that you have training programs that like it's I don't know. That scene about that is pretty funny. But it's kind of a tragic movie too, and there's this whole thing with recording bags. It's kind of stupid, but I don't know.
American Woman. Let me look it up.
American Beauty. Yeah,
Oh, American Beauty.
it won the Academy Award in like What year was it? 1999 was the Academy Award winning film for that year.
No, I have not seen this movie.
Yeah. And like I said, you might watch it and you probably will hate it, but or just be like
Has
that
it
was
had Bruce
stupid.
Willis in it?
No, it's got Kevin Spacey and that. I think he was the main one. Chris Cooper plays this like this closet gay Marine guy, and um, I don't know. And then there's this Annette Bening who's kind of like she's going through her own thing. I don't know. It's like I said, you probably won't like it, but there's parts that now that I like. I understand that I didn't understand when I was a kid because of
Mm.
the whole like. I mean, it's about like midlife is really what it's about. So at least for like suburban white people. I mean, I don't know. You might have no sort of connection to it whatsoever.
I'll watch it for the first 5 minutes. So
If
yeah,
not, I'll,
it's
I'll send you the highlight clips of the funny parts. That'll be if you because you might not make it the first 5 minutes because I think it starts with like him recording a bag in the wind or something like this kid recording a bag in the wind, and you're like, I still don't understand it. It's like the bag is so beautiful. It's like what the
you
hell?
you referencing other demographics that may not appreciate the movie reminds me of the movie Talladega
Talladega Nights,
Nights. Yeah, and which I was looking at it, I'm like,
the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
apparently it's a redneck movie, and I couldn't really relate. Maybe I'll try to
Yeah,
watch it again.
yeah. I
I
mean,
just remember the quote, "Not my prison shank." And she was, uh,
okay. But yeah, yeah. So you might not, like I said, it's I don't know. It's about I think like the dullness of life and hitting midlife or whatever. So
yeah, that
you might
happens to
have
me every 5 years.
yeah. Happens for me every other week basically. So
Very briefly, how much longer are you going to maintain that beard?
uh I don't know.
It doesn't
Until I
bother
get tired.
you. You don't get rashes, nothing like that.
No, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to a pub crawl type thing this weekend and people kept like grabbing it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a mame.
Yeah.
From now on, it's not a beard, it's a mame.
Yeah, it's not even that.
You're a lion.
My wife says it's facial pubic hair. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, it's got that kind of nature. I don't
Texture.
care. I don't grow a nice beard, but all right. By next week, I got to have something figured out for what I'm going to do. I got to come up with some sort of idea to get back into you're inspiring. Your business stuff's getting inspiring, and now I've got ideas. I gotta find some ideas.
You can start a YouTube
Do it.
channel.
I don't want to do content shit. I want to solve like a problem. Not that's not just like here's entertainment. Actually, entertainment's like going to be the only thing that you eventually can make money on. Everything else will be automated, and entertainment can be
You can
automated.
consider something that complements what I'm doing so that I could take advantage of it and make my life easier.
Yeah. Yep. I can't think of what that would even be around here. We got DoorDash. That's about all we need.
Chat, or you could do GPT-4 sex bots.
That's it. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's what I put
GPT-4 sex bots.
on the application form for Y Combinator. They said, "What other ideas did you have that you didn't submit an application for?" And I said, "Sex bots running Chat GPT-4." I submitted it.
I hope someone gets a chuckle. Yeah, maybe that'll be it. This guy's got it. All right,
Uh,
all
all
right.
right.
I gotta run. I gotta stand up in a minute.
Yeah,
So
I appreciate your encouragement. Thank you.
yep.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. See you, that one person that's viewing this. I'm not sure if it's scam lore, but take care. Thanks. Bye.